In these days, we have become all Wahhabis. Whether we are Ahl Sunnah, which mazhab, which tariqat, everyone is running to Allah. But when we say run to the Prophet ﷺ, they say this is a shirk, it's too much, it's this, you have to concentrate on Allah. Never in 1400 years, when you're concentrating on the Prophet, that you forget Allah, never. But so many times in 7,000 years of history that the prophets, they brought revelation, when they just concentrate on Allah, they forget about their prophets. Yes or no? And when they forget about the prophets, they may even kill their prophets. They judge their prophets, or they deviate from their prophets, or they say, we are better than you. Our kalima of shahadat is not only la ilaha illallah, it is Muhammad Rasulullah alayhi wasalam. Now it is like a lost treasure when we concentrate on the Prophet alayhi wasalam, and people think it is high level or it is tasawwuf. It is not. In the 1400 years, even the most common, let's say, Muslim who doesn't have too much education, they understand the mercy and the love of the Prophet ﷺ. And especially in the last, let's say, 500, 600, 700 years with the rulings of the Ottomans, they're putting the love of the Prophet ﷺ. They say, if you don't have the love of the Prophet, you will not have the love of Allah. It is impossible. Which the Prophet himself is saying, if you don't love me more than you love everything else, then you don't have complete faith. Complete faith you will not have. So they're concentrating on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the old days, they don't have to talk too much. Even when they're concentrating on the mercy, everyone knows that the mercy of Allah is the Prophet, because he is rahmatul lil alameen. He is the mercy to the whole alams, to the whole universes, galaxies, the whole of creation. He is the mercy. He is the cause of mercy. Allah is giving everything to him, from pre-eternity till post-eternity. So we become like Wahhabi-minded people, running towards Allah but forgetting about our Prophet. But everybody is saying we're following the Prophet. Wahhabis are saying we follow the Prophet. Never we say we put aside the, no, they're going to claim we're following him. In fact, they're going to say we're the only ones who follow him. What they call Salafis. Sunni saying that, Sufi saying that, Shia saying that, so many different kinds, they're saying that. Yes? So where is the criterion now? Whether you're following the Prophet or not. Don't try to make up what you think is. Listen to the words of the Prophet ﷺ. And what did he say? He said that Islam will be divided into 73 different groups. Only one of them is going to be correct. The others are going to be in deviation. And it says bounding to hellfire. Only one is accepted. He did not leave it blank and open for 2,000 years for people to play with philosophy, to say, is he Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Holy this, what, I don't know. I'm making things up for 2,000 years, still wondering. Where is it written? Where did he say he is? He said over here, but it's not it. He said over here, it's not it. You're just making things up. So 1400 years ago, they asked him, which group is that, Ya Rasulullah? And he says, those who follow my sunnah and the sunnah of my companions. Now, there are people who say they follow the Prophet, but they don't follow his sunnah. They don't. Or they say we follow the Prophet, but they make up their own things. Or they're saying we're following the Prophet, we're following his sunnah, but we're not following the sunnahs of his companions, of those ones after him, and those ones after him, and those ones after him. Because when the Prophet said, my sunnah, the sunnah of my companions, is talking about here, it's not. He's talking about a chain. He's talking about going according to the chain that is in front of you, not to try to think you can go all the way back to 1400 years. You have to follow Sahabis, Tabi'in. Tabi'in simply means those who follow. tabi, the ones who follow, and then continuing 1400 years. Now we come to the point. Mercy of the Prophet ﷺ. When there was a Khilafat, everybody knows for 1400 years the Khalifa is representing who? Allah. Is he representing Allah? Everybody knows he's representing the Prophet ﷺ. He is the Khalifa. What is he upholding? He is defending the Sunnah. This is what Sunnis means. We defend the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Therefore, 1400 years, they refine and they refine and they refine all the Sunnah and they make it beautiful, they make it more tasty, more fragrant, more beautiful. The Sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ, so that everyone can enjoy. Everyone can practice and everyone can enjoy. For instance, you know Taraweeh prayer? Today, if there is one Sahabi from that time who comes and says, the way that you pray, 8 rak'at, it is not accepted. Or better, they don't judge. They say, during the Prophet's time, we used to pray 8, 20, 40, 100 rak'ats. Any number you want, you can pray. There'll be millions of Muslims who are going to call that Sahabi who followed the Prophet, saying that you are making bid'at. You are making stuff up and you are going to go to hellfire. But that's exactly what they did during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahabis and after him. Like Taraweeh prayer, they didn't just limit into 8 rak'ats or 20 rak'ats. They would make all night long if they want to. And some of them they did. And this has been refined. This has been put into law. And the scholars have said, forget about the shaykhs. They don't wait until Ramadan to pray all night long. The Ahlul Bayt and the shaykhs, they will pray all night long, any night of the year. But it is well known now. You can do it. Okay, we put a cap at 20 rakats as a Jamaat. You want to pray all night long? You can. You can go home and pray all night long. It's okay. But now, if that Sahabi were to come today and he's going to pray more, so millions of Muslims are going to say, you are people of hellfire now. So, which means what? People, they're not saying that they are following the Prophet, they're not following the Prophet. That's why choosing the mazhab, it is important. But of course, these days people get too clever, especially people from the West. Yeah? Yesterday they don't know how to enter a toilet. Today they memorize everything, they become Muslim, very good. But they start making up stuff inside of Islam, new stuff inside of Islam also, saying that, you stupid brown Muslims, you don't know. We know, because we're white. Basically, it's that kind of attitude. What they call cancel? Cancel. They cancel us. Cancel culture. They say, don't you know? Now we have to make new mazhab, new law, new way. We have to make new Islam, European Islam, American Islam, this Islam, that Islam. But running away from those who have been given authority to establish. They run away from those who have given authority. Those ones that they follow, that they say they have authority, look to them, they don't have authority. Not dunya, not akhirat. So they don't follow. So how are you going to understand mercy? Like I said 100 years ago, everyone under the Khalifa, new Khalifa is Khalifatul Rasul. Khalifa means Khalifatul Rasul. And the Prophet ﷺ is the one who is representing Allah. And they concentrate on the love of the Prophet ﷺ. And when you do, you would feel his love. You start reflecting that. And you understand now why Allah loves him so much, the most. And that why Allah is saying he is the mercy. Not you, not me, he is the mercy to all of the universes. You enter into tariqat to dig deeper into that, because the key is there. The key to La ilaha illallah is through Muhammad Rasulullah. If you don't understand Muhammad Rasulullah, If you don't get close to the Prophet ﷺ and you don't understand, you will never understand La ilaha illallah. That time, your thinking about Allah or understanding about Allah is according to your ego, or according to your nationality, according to your philosophy, according to your politics, according to anything, but not according to the chain that is coming directly from the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So, how can we remove the Prophet ﷺ from this religion? This religion was revealed to him. If those ones are saying, don't love the Prophet too much, concentrate on Allah. But everything that we have, from the fasting to reciting to Hajj to everything, is according to the Prophet, to the praying according to the Prophet. Only lately, in the last, let's say, 50 years, we have one group that says we want to remove the Prophet and just pray to Allah. We just want to follow the Quran, not the Hadith. Hadith is prone to mistakes. Quran is perfect. We just want to follow the Quran. The Prophet is human. We don't want to concentrate on him. He is human. We want to concentrate on Allah. Those that they call the, how you say? Not Quran only is a nice term. They are those ones who are disobedient to the Sunnah. The disobedient to Sunnah people. That they go against the Sunnah. They even go to the extreme that they say we're not going to pray according to the way the Prophet prayed. We're going to pray according to what Allah is telling us. But Allah in so many ayat is saying, follow that Prophet, follow that Prophet. Whatever he gives you, follow. Whatever he says, follow, 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 follow. Obey Allah and obey his Prophet. Obey Allah and obey his Prophet over and over and over again. And you know something else? The Quran came through the lips and tongue of the Prophet. It didn't come from Allah directly. It didn't. The language of Allah is different. The language of the Quran is different. The Prophet still had to say it, no? So you're coming, you're taking it. You're saying you're only following the Quran, but the Quran is from the one that you say is only human. But that is a different kind of Wahhabi kind of idea. It's taken over because everyone is saying, okay, I can just pray to Allah. It is easier. I don't have to follow anyone. I can live my own life. I can do as I like, because that one is going to tell me exactly what I have to do. But the Prophet is saying, like this, Allah is teaching me this. If you want to love Allah, you want Allah to love you, you follow. You follow as you like. You cannot separate now. Once you start separating Prophet ﷺ from Allah in your love, then you're separating the love of the Sahabis, you're separating now the love of the awliya Allah. So you said to separate all holy people, he said there's no holiness. Everyone is the same. Once you start pushing away the awliya Allah, the holy people, those that you understand, those that you don't understand, those that you see and those that you don't see, those who have power that is open and those who have hidden power. Once you deny them, then it's very easy to say, I only follow Allah. But you're in trouble now, because your faith is going to be according to your own ideas. Your own ideas. It's not going to be according to the ideas, not ideas, the reality of those ones that Allah says, these are my beloved ones and these are my friends. Then we're in trouble. You don't have mercy, you don't know the mercy of the Prophet, you don't know the love of the Prophet ﷺ. That time you will be terrorist. Very easy. Very easy. Very easy to take the religion and run. And saying Quran is saying this and this. Very easy. And whatever the Christians have been saying for 1400 years, that Muslims are violent and terrorists, they achieved that aim now. Shaitan achieved that with Wahhabism idea and cutting away the love of the Prophet ﷺ. Because when that love hits you, it is impossible to do that. Then, just like the Christians, they say, oh, the Prophet was violent. What violent? What violent? Because he fought back. Look in the Old Testament how many prophets fought back. Look how they fought and look how the Prophet ﷺ fought. Then you're going to see who is violent. Are we saying that those Old Testament prophets, they are violent? No, we say they are under the command of Allah. We don't judge, you see. This is the meaning. When the ayat of Amana Rasul saying, and we make no distinction between them. The prophets of Allah, we make no distinction. We don't say, this one is like this one is like that. This one is violent, this one is not. This one is son, and this one is, no. And what violence? How many years he was in Mecca? Huh? 13 years he was in Mecca. 13 years. And the small Islamic Jamaat community with the Prophet, every single day for 13 years, they were being hunted down and killed and oppressed and bullied and insulted. All their rights taken away from them. They were killed, they were tortured. They lived in complete difficulty and agony for 13 years. And the Prophet never taught them to take the sword and to open it and to fight back for 13 years. What kind of violence is that? After 13 years, then he said to them, now you're going to start attacking and killing everyone? No, Christians, they do that. No, he says, now you make the hijrah. You go somewhere else where you can practice your religion. You can say La ilaha illallah without fear that people are going to now attack you and kill you. And they did. And when they went away to just establish the kingdom of Allah properly, and then when those animals started chasing them to finish them off, that's when Allah is saying, now start fighting back to defend. And even then, the Prophet felt, ﷺ, very hesitant about that. And that is the command when Allah is saying what?
I know that you don't like to fight.
And?
But the zulm is worse than killing.
Oppression, it is worse than killing. So easy now. Christians saying, peace, peace, peace. What? Your 2,000 years is filled with peace? Your popes are filled with peace? What dirtiness and what corruption you've spread to the whole world now? In the name of your religion, it's not the teachings of Isa alayhi salam, it's not the teachings of Jesus. No, you've deviated because you're not following your prophet. They say, you're the one who threw, but we are the one. What? That ayat? So Allah is saying, you are the one who is going to throw, but we are the one who is directing. I'm paraphrasing it. I'm the one who's giving the direction. You are physically doing that, but we are the ones giving permission to do that. And what? First battle, the Muslims, all thousands, everyone comes out hungry for revenge. After 10 years, they want to take revenge and kill everyone. 313 over 1,000, more than 1,000 people that came. And those 313, they were not sure, they were unsure. Even the Prophet ﷺ was begging Allah for victory. Violent? Yeah, what today they call projection, right? You are projecting. Same way. Savages, you come into this country and you say these people are savages, you'll have savagery in your heart. Doesn't matter what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of technology you think you have. Muslims now become even worse. Worse than that. Because learning from that become worse than that. when you stop following holy people that are in the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ, you lose that connection. You just become something you read or you attend a lecture about, but you lose that connection. There is no one that is there trying to teach you that embodies it. There are. At any given time, there's 124,000 saints of Allah. But when the heart is busy with this world, busy with internet, busy with everything, and not searching for Allah, you can't see anything because the heart is blind. But when the heart is open, that time you'll see so many things. So our aim is not to be so busy with those things. We are in it, we can take it, but we cannot be obsessed with it. Situation comes when we can be running away from that, we must do that. Then, once we understand not just the love of the Prophet ﷺ, but the difficulties that he went through, to know the love of the Prophet and the mercy of the Prophet is not just to sit around and sing songs about him. It's good, alhamdulillah, to sing qasidas and everything. Yeah, it's good. It's not just that. Sahabi-kiram, they did not become sahabis just by sitting and praising the Prophet ﷺ. They sacrificed and they went through hell to help establish his adalat, his justice, his laws, his teachings in this world. They ran and they struggled for that. So the bigger struggle and the smaller struggle. At least it's a struggle. If you are struggling, the smaller struggle is good, but now there is no permission for that. But the bigger struggle, the struggle against your nafs, it is still the struggle of the Prophet ﷺ that he's teaching for the ummah to take. If you're doing that, then you start understanding a little bit more, not just the love of the Prophet, but the difficulties. The difficulties. It's not just to sit and sing songs and get carried away and get into a high of the Prophet. It's not that. Then you have to understand, what was the Prophet? What did he come to establish? To tell mankind, turn your face away from shaitan, turn your face away from your ego and from this dunya and turn to Allah. And that time when every day you are struggling to control yourself and to step in your ego because of the Prophet ﷺ, then you are involved in this struggle. That time it becomes more sweet. And you're going to see so many changes in your lives. So many things you're going to understand, realize, and you're going to taste. And it's not just because you are getting a high. It's not about high at all. May Allah make us to become more sincere and more truthful, inshallah. For us to wake up. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.